Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you are watching this, then you know that we are about to talk about what it is like being a teacher in Korea with no experience, i.e. me, versus actual teaching experience, i.e. Cami. So Cami, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Cami. You can follow my channel at Cami Tales. And I am from Georgia, USA, and I was an elementary school teacher for 3 years before I came to Korea. I had to go.
You had to go. That sounds like a story. I'm from South Africa. If you don't know me, my name is Kay. If you're new to the channel, if you're not new to the channel, hey, what's up? So yeah, Cami, you had to go. Why did you have to go? Why did you come to Korea?
I taught in America for 3 years, and I taught first grade for all 3 of those years. I taught in a Title I school, which is like low income, for low income kids. So like my first year, it was pretty rough. Like I was a brand new teacher, and my class was like off the chain, and it had nothing to do with classroom management. It's just like I just feel like when you have kids that just like do not give a crap, it's hard to control kids who just don't care and their parents don't do nothing. So the second year was just, it was horrible. It wasn't even like everybody. It was literally like these 6 kids that I called them.
In a class of like how many?
I had a class of like 24. Oh, okay. So it was like 6 boys, and I called them like my children of the corn. And if you don't know that, that's a reference to, it's a scary movie about these kids in the cornfield that be killing folks. So I called them my children of the corn. They were off the chain, and they just made my school year a nightmare. And like I end up breaking my foot because one of my students tripped me.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I tripped and I hit the floor. My foot turned that way. They just like were always hitting each other and doing all this and that, and it just became overwhelming. And my friend, he was like, I was talking to him, and he was just like, why don't you go teach overseas? So I thought about, like, I don't know, I don't want to leave my family and my friends. I can't go by myself. So then Korea just popped in my mind. I've been wanting to go to Korea for years, for like, I don't know, like, because I watched the drama, so I've been really wanting to watch and come visit Seoul. So I was like, hey, it's a win-win. Come here. I applied during my 3rd year teaching, that whole school year. I was like, I'm leaving. I'm going to Korea.
So this is with teaching experience. I don't have any experience. I studied film in school. I have a TEFL certificate, which is like one of the requirements that you need to be an EPIC teacher. And you need to be from, like, I think there are 7 countries: the UK, Australia, South Africa, America, Ireland.
Yeah, it was Ireland too.
Ireland, New Zealand. What's the 7th one?
Did you say Australia?
I think so.
I don't know.
There's a 7th one. Whatever it is, I'll put it somewhere there. I'm sure it's something like super obvious.
Right.
So that's as much teaching experience as I have. So I kind of made this video so that you could see like the differences of what it's like to adjust to, for me, a career change, but for her, like, just a change in what a career that she's already had works like, type of thing. So yeah, I guess the first thing that we could talk about is like when you got to Korea, what do you think it was like to like adapt to like the different teaching styles and the kids, and like just adapting to the school environment?
Compared to my experience, I can only talk about what I did at my school. I know that when we came in, I was a homeroom teacher, so this is different. I'm no longer a homeroom teacher and have one class. I'm more of like an elective teacher, kind of like in America we have art class, and then we have music class and PE class. So I'm one of those teachers, so I see a lot of students. So I'm going from having like 24 to like 300. It's something students, so it's a little bit, I would say it's a little bit harder trying to like learn the students' names, because compared to America, I mean, the first week you may be struggling. You'd be like, oh, what's your name again? Sorry, Bobby, Susie, whatever. But here, I've been here at the school year for a year, and I maybe know like 5 kids' names.
5?
I'm so serious. Like, I do not, because in America, like, the difference is like, we in America, I was a homeroom teacher, so I took roll. I was always taking I was always taking attendance every morning. I graded papers, so I'm always reading their name and doing this. So you're putting the name in your face, the face to the name to the face. Where here, there's no reason for me to say their name. I don't grade papers. I don't take attendance. So I honestly just never use the kids' names. I don't know it, and because we have so many students. Like, even in America, I use popsicle sticks to call on students, and I'll pull the popsicle stick and read their name. But here, we have like, we read their numbers. They're known by numbers. Your number, who's number 25? Number 5, come here. So it's really sad. So I always feel bad because I don't know their names. And then their names are just like, you know, the Korean, a lot of them have the same names, and then some names are just a little bit hard to pronounce. Yeah, and if it's not simple, like, oh, my name is Minjin. Oh, I know you. That's your name. But if it's something like hard, like Sok or something.
I made a rule actually with like fourth graders at my main school. I made a rule that when they come up to me and speak to me, they have to say their name first, because it's the only way I can learn their name. So I have like this one kid. He like runs down the hall and he goes, "Teacher, my name is," and I'm like, oh, I can't say what his name is. And then he plays soccer, so he's like, "Number," and I'm like, 11, and then he's like, "Yeah."
I need to do that too. I think my rule is I just have, like, especially if I'm trying to learn certain kids' names, like, I know the kids' names are the ones that really like attached to me, that come to visit me. Like, I call them my little fan club. They always come in. Yeah, at my travel school, they always come in the office around the same time on a Thursday or Friday, and they just be in the office, just on the computers or just running and talking to me. So a lot of times I would be like, when you see me, say, "Teacher, what's my name?" So that makes me be like, you are this person. And he did that all the time, and you know what, and I knew it. Now that we ain't been in school, I don't remember his name no more. I'm so sad. I just thought about it. I was looking at it now like, I don't forgot his name. I'd be like, I know your face, I do not know your name.
And the naughty ones, I know the naughty ones.
When it comes to like the school system, that was really different from being an American teacher, because we don't necessarily have the hierarchy. Like, we may have a lead teacher. Like, I taught first grade, we have the lead teacher in first grade, and we can ask questions to. But I could always go to my principals and anybody in the office and just talk to them. Where here you have, it's a whole hierarchy.
Yeah, and you can't jump over it.
Yeah, like, you have to go to and talk to your co-teacher first, and then if the co-teacher's not doing it, then the lead teacher or something like that. And one day I was trying to find the color computer printer, and I went into the teacher's office, and the only person who was in there was the vice principal. So I translated on translator. I was just like, "Color printer?" ? And so I think she got confused, and I think she thought I wanted them to buy me one. So my co-teacher came to me, and she kind of said a little snarky, where she was just like, "This is not how Korea goes. Don't ask the vice principal anything, because she doesn't know anything. You need to come to me first." And she was just like, the accountant lady was like, "We can't get you a printer, because then we're gonna have to get everybody else a color printer." And I was like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" I didn't ask for a printer. I was asking, where is the computer to print color, because it was one of those computers in that office, and I didn't know which one. And I was just like, like, you're trying to bite my head off, but that was not what I wanted. Yeah, like, never my intentions. But that hierarchy is a little different, and sometimes, like, you think you get adjusted to it, but then something happens, and it's annoying.
I think it's very case by case though.
It is, like,
because like my travel school, the principal is very like, if I need something I can ask her. She doesn't mind. Like, she's kind of like a mom. I think she wants to mother me because she's like, feels sorry for me. Right. But like the first day when I got there, I was just speaking to her like randomly, and she was just like, "Do you know what principal is in Korean?" I was like, "No, I didn't know at the time." And then we just had a conversation. She kind of gave up, and then we've been close ever since. I think it's a case by case thing.
I wish I haven't really been any close with any of my principals. Like, you know, when I got here, I was at 2 different schools. I got here fall 18. I was at 2 different schools, and then in March we switched because that's another thing that's different in America, where in America teachers can be at the school for like 10 years. Like they don't never.
South Africa too.
We don't never have to like
switch after a
switch here. Where in Korea you can only be at school up to like maybe 5-6 years, and then you have to leave, and that's either changing schools in the city or they pull you another city in the province. And I'm like, that is crazy. Like, we don't have to do that. And then the foreign teachers in Cheongju, I think it's just Cheongju because the rest of the province didn't do that. But in Cheongju, foreign teachers are only allowed to be at a school for 2 years, and then we have to switch. So we're going to switch again in March.
I think Korean schools versus like South African schools, I'd say like it's basically the what you said, like hierarchy, and like there's like a certain order that you do things in, and you can't do things outside of that order. But the big thing, this is like the biggest thing for me, discipline. Oh my gosh.
This
South Africa has like, I mean, obviously we have discipline problems, every country does, but like there's at least like a disciplinary system in place.
Yes.
I feel like Korean schools, or at least elementary schools, don't have a discipline system.
They don't.
I don't know what the Korean teachers do, but like if my kids misbehave in my class, I have to just deal with it.
Right.
And they never get punished for it. Like there was a kid who, like, not towards me, one of the Korean teachers who's an English teacher wrote that she, like, you know, well, he wrote something very bad about her in a very public place, and then he just got away with it. And I was like, in South Africa, the whole grade or something would have been punished for that. Like, it was just kind of one of those things that people pretended didn't happen, and I was like, that is ridiculous. Like, kids will do the most in class, and then they maybe get talked to, and then that's it.
Right.
That's crazy to me.
I agree with that. I was gonna say that's one thing that bothers me about like the Korean education system here is that the discipline. The disciplinary is like so different. Where in America, we would go to the principals. We would go. I to this day still got kids' parents' numbers, their mom's numbers saved in my phone on speed dial, and I'll be like, I'm calling your mom. Ring, ring, ring. Hey, so-and-so is doing this in class. Can you come to the school? We used to send kids to the principal all the time. And like here, the kids are just, I think it goes with the kids have a little bit more freedom. Where in America, our schools were a little bit more structured. The kids were not supposed to be running in the hallways. We can't, like, they like to fight and hit here. And we can't do that. They were not doing that. Like, if my kids were running in the hallway in America, we'd be like, turn around, come back, and go walk. We'd be like, here, they just be like running all down the hallway, playing, running down the stairs.
Hitting each other.
Yeah, hitting each other.
Hitting each other.
Running the stairs in class. And I think that goes to me a lot where they're like really like scared of the parents. Where in America, we're not scared of your parents. Like,
parents are scared of having their kid kicked out of school.
Yeah, like here it'd be like the parents be running the thing, man. Like they scared like, oh well, the moms or somebody's gonna complain. So we'd be like, we don't care if you complain, your child is not listening, they're being defiant, and now they're making the environment not safe. You have to keep you have to look out for your teachers. Like, they're the ones that you're paying to teach there. Like, we come to teach, we don't come to babysit and
your
do
kids
and be
and raise them.
Yeah, and have people talk to us crazy and be disrespectful. So it kind of is hard to discipline some kids in Korea just because there's a language barrier. So they don't understand like what we're saying, and then if you get like upset or you're frustrated, then they look or they laugh because they're just like, ooh, like what's she talking about? Stuff like that, and you're just like, but
like, yeah, that's like a huge thing though. Like, my kids only, like, I can say whatever I want in English, it goes like over their heads. If I just start with one Korean word, all of a sudden it's like, oh, 죄송합니다, oh, 솔직히 죄송합니다. I'm like, bro, what do you think the difference is between like the job description in America versus like here? Because like here you could either be the games teacher or you can have like a whole lesson and have to actually be responsible for like the curriculum type of thing. So what do you think that's like?
I think what makes it different is that in Korea, depending on who your teacher is, they would choose to teach the whole lesson. Some of them would be like I'm teaching, you're just a game person. Like, find the English game, and that's what you do. Then you have some who are like, oh, this is my free time. Like, you're here.
Exactly.
So this is my free time.
It's two extremes. There's no in between. It's like either you're the games teacher or you're like...
Yeah. Like, you're going to teach the whole lesson, do all that. Where it was like that. My first school, 6th grade, she taught the whole lesson. I literally wasn't even in the classroom when she taught the lesson. Like, our classroom was English classroom. Then my office, it was a sliding door. And when it got time for me to do the English game, the kids would come in, "Come on, teacher, come on, it's time for you." And I'd be like, what is this? And then 4th grade, I went to their classrooms and taught the whole lesson. But then when I moved to like my new school, my co-teacher taught 20 minutes. And then I did the last 20 minutes. So she would do like A and B, and I would do C and D. And then the other co-teacher, she taught the whole lesson, and I just did the English activity. And we did that the first semester. Then the second semester, they were like, okay, now it's time for you to just teach the whole lesson by yourself.
I thought this would be different. So like, you're an experienced teacher, right? You would think they would kind of just throw that at you, like, oh, you've done this before, you just do that. When I got here, I had like, most of my co-teachers were like, okay, just do the game because you don't know how to teach, type of thing. And then like, as you get better, they didn't say this obviously, but it was like, as I got better, they would like let me do more type thing. But then I had this teacher who was just like, oh hey, day 1, we're doing this page, go. I was like, you want me to what? So I got in front of the class. I'm like, she let me sit in on one lesson. She let me watch one lesson.
Oh wow. And
and then the next one she was like, go teach, go forth.
And that's what I feel like they need to do to me, like, when it came to Epic, because when we first got here, I think Busan people were like that. They didn't teach for, like, the first 2 weeks because they were able to sit in and watch how everything is going or how the lesson actually goes. And I really wish, like, schools would let us do that because I was just like, yeah, I'm a teacher in America, but this is still different.
Yeah.
Like, it's different people, different culture. The way they do everything is differently here. So I'm just like, I would love to watch because I like to learn and be like, okay, I like how she's doing this and doing that. Personally, me, I don't mind being a games person just because I say that because I feel like, do they understand the English that I'm saying? I feel like I watched my co-teacher where she would go between English and the Korean where she'd be like, they're learning vocabulary where she'll be like, okay, this is what? Oh, cat, what is it in what is it in Korean? And stuff like that. I can't do that because I don't know the Korean words for a lot of the English words. So I'm like, you're just listening to me. Do you really understand what I'm saying? I really feel like the Korean teacher should like teach and then have me for pronunciation. Use me for pronunciation. That's just personally me. I feel like it's better that way. It's hard for me to teach and talk like a caveman. Because in America, I can talk how I'm talking now. I can talk like this. Okay, blah, blah, blah. In Korea, you have to be like, okay, class, this. And I just feel like, what am I talking? Yeah.
We teach English in a really singy way. Like, no one speaks English like that. Like, what a nice house. No one says that. Yeah. No one walks into someone's house and is like, what a nice house.
Yes.
No one says that.
And then they have one where they're just like, she has long curly hair. And it's just like, even like some of the stuff that's in the videos that they learn for English is just like, some of it's like to me very cringy. And then what's also like crazy is like the program, they pick different people from different countries to speak English, but there's so many different people, different types of English. Like, there's like, you know, South African English,
my problems,
Canadian English, American English, British English, Australian English, like New Zealand English. We use different words. Like, we were talking about it earlier where for us in America, biscuit is like the little bread that you eat, like sausage and you put jelly on, but a biscuit for them is cookies.
Cookies.
Like that's, no, it's a biscuit. Cookies is cookies, chocolate chip cookies. So it's different. And a lot of my kids used to say, when we played bomb games, I used to hear them go Zet. And I used to be like, what is that? So I thought that was a word like in Korean for Z, but then I found out later that's like an old English way of saying Z.
No, that's British English.
Yeah.
Because I say Z, I'll be like Z, and then they'll be like Z. I'm like, yeah, Z. Okay, cool.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I'm saying. That's old. When I say English, I meant like British English.
British English.
Like that's an old British English way to say that, because in America we don't say Z, we be like Z. So when I heard that, I used to get confused, because I'm like, what are you talking about? Who taught you that?
And also, like, it makes it like really difficult when your students want to ask like the native teacher a question. Like, I had my kids ask me how to pronounce movie director, because I think it was I want to be a movie director, the name of the chapter or whatever. So I said director, and then when my co-teacher started teaching like the first lesson, she was like director. So then I was like, did I teach it wrong? Because I didn't realize that they were like, I mean, I knew, but it didn't click that it's like two different types of English. So then I had to tell her to tell the kids that there are two types, the British kind and the American kind, like the ways of saying it. It makes it really difficult. And also, like, I think, like, for me as a unexperienced teacher, with the, you know, with the whole Korean translation type thing, so I think when my teachers started figuring out that I can speak Korean, they started letting me teach more of the lessons. Like, there was a point where one co-teacher sat me down and was like, I want you to do the entire lesson the next time. And I did it completely in English. Kids had no idea what I was saying, so I had to start mixing Korean in. Whereas in the program, they kind of discourage you from using Korean at all.
They do.
So it's like, especially because I don't have teaching experience, I'm just like, I want them to understand me, you know what I mean? I don't enjoy when kids are just staring at me like...
Yeah, and that's how I feel. And it's just like, when you was talking about like director, I really feel like it's not even an American thing. I just feel like it's where you grew up, because even in America you said director, but if I would have saw that, I probably would have pronounced it director too. Just because it's like some people say organization, and I am the one that says, I say organization. I say
What is the other one? Aluminium.
What is that?
Aluminum.
Oh, aluminum.
Aluminium.
Aluminum.
Aluminium.
What is that? I say aluminum.
It's aluminium.
No, it's aluminum. I've heard it, like, my teacher did too. She was like telling about exercise, and she kept going, Arabic. And I was like,
oh, aerobics?
I was like,
Arabic is a language.
I was like, it's aerobics. And that's another thing which is just like different, because you, like, in America, you do have like a co-teacher if you're in like kindergarten and so. At my school, they have paraprofessionals, but the paraprofessional is just like the helper, and I feel like that's kind of like what we are.
Yes. We are glorified teaching assistants.
Yes, we are the paraprofessionals of English in Korea, and they're the main teacher. So like sometimes they will use us to do this or use us to do that, and I think sometimes I feel like what's the difference is that some of them forget that some of us are real teachers, and we don't get treated like we are real teachers. Where in America, like right now, I think that like the coronavirus is happening, and all like the schools are shut down, and nobody's there at the schools. Where in Korea,
we have to go to
we
school.
are here at the schools. No Korean teachers at the school. But we, us foreigners, are still at the school. Where if we did the same program in America, they would not be at the school. They would not be forced to use like vacation or unpaid leave. Like they would not just be in school with other kids. So it just like that kind of sucks. And then I think another thing that was like different to me, Korea starts their school year from March to like January, and then in America we go August to May, or depending on what state you live in, September to June.
That's so confusing. All of them are confusing. We start in January, we end in December.
Really?
Yes.
That's the whole year. No, like
not literally, but I just mean like it goes. The year starts, we start school. The year ends, we end school.
That's what I mean. Like that's the whole year. Like you'd be like, oh, I went to school in 2019. Ours is we start in August and we end in May. So our yearbooks always say like 2017-2018 school year.
That's so simple. And like, why? Make it make sense.
But
Why?
even in Korea, I'm like, they literally go to school for like 1 year too, because it started in March. Some people's school year does end in December, and then their graduation is like in January. Where ours, we went to school for like a week or two, 2 weeks. The 1 week, and then the last week was like getting ready for graduation. So I'm like, they literally go to school for like 1 year. In America, nah, you in school for you're in school all year, but the school year is not 1 year. It's like literally half of the bottom semester of the rest of the school year up to next semester. It's weird, but we get the summer out though. We're not in school burning up in the summer, because in Korea it's hot and we were burning up in the summer because they don't be turning the air on. How it's cold, when it be cold, it's gonna be hot just like that.
I haven't experienced summer in Korea yet, and I'm scared. Like, and they're always like, oh yeah, you're from Africa, you can handle the heat. I'm like, bro, South Africa has dry heat. Dry heat. That means if I stand in the shade, I'm cool. But Korea is humid heat. I'm gonna die.
Yes, and that's what I was trying to tell them. I was just like, Georgia has like dry heat too. Like, Georgia gets hot, but like you said, we're in the shade, I can cool off. Where in Korea, it doesn't matter in the shade, it's just really humid, and that's what makes it hot. How would you say, I want to ask you, how would you say like the lunches are compared in
South Africa?
Yeah, South African schools compared to like Korean schools.
Well, you mean like, okay, so America has cafeteria lunch, right? South Africa doesn't really do that. We don't do that. We have like,
bring your own lunch?
Yeah, you bring your own lunch, or you go to like, there's usually like a tuck shop or something where you can get like, maybe on Mondays they do hot dogs, and then the next day they'll do, or like if your tuck shop is fancy, they'll do like every food every day type of thing, and then you just go buy lunch. But you never have like a hall where you all sit with your tray and you eat. So
oh wow, that's different. Like in America, we have our cafeteria. You go in, and so the thing is, like, some schools they pay for lunch, and then it's like free, reduced, and then you just pay for lunch. Well, I went to a Title I school, so all the kids got free breakfast, lunch, and stuff like that. But of course, the teachers had to pay for the lunch. But our lunch is like, I feel like it's not healthy. Like, we serve milk for breakfast and we serve milk for lunch, and the kids get like hot dogs and stuff with cheese on it, and hamburgers and this and that. Where and it's good. It sounds good, but some of it's good. But a lot of times I don't like it. I be like, it's bland, it's nasty. Whereas in Korea, the kids only get milk for breakfast. At lunch, they get water, and they don't drink the water until they're done with their food. I
hate that.
I don't do that. I bring my bottled water to the table with me, because sometimes I eat the kimchi, and the kimchi's just, it'd be too spicy, my mouth be burning, and I'd be like, no, I need some water. So I started bringing my water with me.
I need to start doing that.
I don't be caring. I get to the point where I tell them, I'd be like, no, don't put that on my tray, because I'm not going to eat it.
Oh no, my lunch ladies love me now. They figured out that I can eat spicy food, so they're always like, oh, you should try this, and then they like pile it on. I'm like, at like 2 out of 3 of my schools, the lunch ladies love me, and they're like, you should try this, and I'm like, I can't eat that much, ma'am, you're stressing me out.
Yes, they used to do that with me. They used to be giving me doubles, but then when I think they really see like, she don't be wanting nothing, they don't. They give me a little bit. They be like, ew, ew. I be like, thank you. Because I am, like, sometimes at my main school, the lunches to me is not that good. The lunch at my second school is so much better. But the one at my main school, no. Sometimes I only eat the rice.
Really?
Yes. That's all I eat would eat the rice. I'm picky. Like, I'm a picky eater.
Is that it's not dry though?
It is, but I bring my water with me. I do. Sometimes I mix it with the kimchi. I put the kimchi in the rice and I just stir it up and I eat it like that. But most of the time I eat the rice and the fruit, depending on what kind of fruit they have. But no, like, I just, I don't. And I'm just a picky eater, and it has nothing to do with like it being Korean food. I'm just a picky eater in general. I didn't eat school lunch in elementary school. I used to give my lunch away for like $1. So in middle school, give me $1 and you can have my lunch. Like, for real. Like, I did not eat lunch. In high school, I barely ate the lunch, and I only got a lunch because we couldn't buy ice cream or like Powerade and stuff like that unless we got a lunch.
That makes sense.
No, it should not. What if I want to bring if I want ice cream, just let me get ice cream. I don't want the lunch.
No, but that's not healthy. I mean, our school used to let us get like, we had 2 breaks in high school at least. In my high school at least.
2 breaks?
What do you call it? I don't know. Lunchtime, I guess. Like,
oh.
Recess. There we go.
Yeah, recess. Elementary school?
No, like in high school, like break time, like where you eat your lunch and you just chill for like an extended period of time.
Oh, see, you went to that good school. All schools weren't like that.
The first one, you had to have like, well, not you had to have, but it's like the tuck shop wouldn't sell certain things. It was a new rule though, so everyone hated it. Like at first you could buy everything, but then the principal was like, you guys just buy sweets, and then you like go on like a sugar high, and then you can't focus, so you can only buy like candy and like stuff like that in the second break. That was like, it was dumb though. But yeah, I think that's like, we covered basically all the differences between like American, Korean, and South African schools. This might have to be a 2-parter. But yeah, I think we covered everything, but like if there are any topics that you guys are curious about that we didn't talk about, between the differences between American, Korean, and South African schools, then please leave that in the comments down below. Be sure to follow her channel. I'm gonna link it down below, okay? Give her a subscribe, and then hit the notification button so that you know when she posts. And then also please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. If you have any requests, also leave that down in the comments. Cami, thanks for joining me. And then yeah, there's gonna be a video up on her channel at some point as well that we do together. Okay, bye.